Hey everyone, time for another stock roundup. Some new names, some old names. BMI on the list perpetually, basically. Looks like a breakout. Hopefully it keeps going. We shall see. PFE struggling to break out as well. Still looking good. Not really concerned. Added to Guild, and I like this one quite a bit. I'll show you positioning for Guild down to 2018, but this is the lowest point ever. And we nearly hit the lowest point ever again on the recent drop. I don't think this will go up immediately, like I said. So I think we get another push lower, but I think it holds. And then we just play the range. We shall see what happens. Walgreens wanted to point out the nice green volume spikes on Friday. This is bullish either way. Either there was selling that got bought up, or buying that pushed it higher. I like this, and Friday might have been the reversal point. If I draw some trend lines, also looking quite good. Almost done coiling, and it looks like it's ready to start going up again. Baidu with the breakout. This had a bit of flows for earnings. Earnings on Thursday or Wednesday. We'll see what happens. Probably bullish. Baba on the list perpetually. Nothing changed. Billy, nothing changed. There were some flows on Friday for steel names. So as long as NUI doesn't go below this level, like a close below this trend line, this blue line, which is 178 basically, don't think this is bearish. And we have a breakout. Volume didn't come yet, so I'm not super confident, but I think volume will come as soon as it makes new highs. So once we break out above this, there should be some panic buying um, as it goes up. Like volume will come as we go up, not necessarily on the move here. I would have liked to see volume directly on the breakout and basically close even above the recent highs. So this might mean that we consolidate even more. This can be like a range we play in for a while and eventually move higher. But I would expect volume comes after we take out the highs. CLF posted this on Twitter. Don't Bearish is bullish, obviously. I don't think we go lower, but I put it there regardless. And looks very good. I think it moves higher. DX had a good earnings reaction, some lower volume pullback, which is fine. This looks bullish to me as well. I think we see at least a retest of this 41 level, but obviously think they will go higher for steel. Tesla. I am still bearish on Tesla. One of this will play out. Nothing has changed really. And this is true for all Tesla adjacent names, which are all of these things here. So Aher, I like it. I think we retest the lows, maybe go a bit lower, but it's pretty clear that we will have a large bullish divergence. Like even if we should do this and make a marginal new low, this should be something like this. So it will have a bullish divergence. I will be looking to enter a position if we are somewhere in this range, like between 14 and 15. Wolf speed, same idea. We already have a bullish divergence because this is a new low, a new closing low. I think this can go as low as 22 and then it will bounce. Albemarle uh, had a bullish reaction to earnings and on volume. This will turn soon. The stock So Rivian is a bit complicated. 10 is a big level. I don't want to see 10 get lost. If we lose 10, I think we can go as low as like 7.5. It's out of OI at 7.5. That would be the target. This is a new all-time low. How low would it? Another 25% low, 25% lower. So I will be probably cutting this if we get a close below 10 or we go like below 9.5 intraday, and we'll be waiting for it to push even lower. We'll see what happens. I think that chances of going below 10 are relatively small, but if it goes below 10, it will do so in force. So either we get a bounce here or we go below 10. And there are two ways in which we can go below 10. I think because it's so oversold on the short term, like look at the 4 hour, it's super dumpster. Uh, we can see a bounce, but you see this? We were super dumpster on the 4 hour, did a relatively small bounce. How much was this? Probably like 5% or something. Yeah, 5%. Did a 5% bounce, and then it went even lower. So we can see something like this as well, which would be similar. Like we do, this will probably be more than 5%, like down to here to 11-ish something. So a 10% bounce, and then it can go lower. Something like this gets rejected and does this. So if we go green and we get this bounced on Monday or sometime next week, set a stop loss, and if it gets triggered, it gets triggered, but don't let it go red. And I think the odds of getting a bounce are much higher than going lower again from here. Uh, they tried to close it below 10 because there's a lot of OI at 10 that could have gone in the money for puts, but it didn't. This is a good sign, even though we closed at the lows of the day. So still a good sign that we didn't close below 10. I think we get a short-term bounce, set a stop loss as it goes positive, and if it gets triggered, it gets triggered. We will look for entry some other time. And if it loses 10, this can go to 7.5. Other EV names doing the same, but bullish divergence here. I don't really see them making new lows. And if they do make new lows, they will go much lower than where we are now. Like next level for Neo, it's 3.9. Posted about Adobe on Twitter. This is the buy point. Don't think it's a buy otherwise. Same as the example I made with Rivian. This can go higher, can turn into resistance, then go back down. Not buying unless we get this level here. Palantir still waiting for a pullback to 21. So this is where we want our entry for long. Uh, eBay with a breakout but earnings next week. So don't recommend playing earnings. BBY's breakout but waiting for earnings. Uh, GME and the memes look kind of bullish. I would like entry is this. Go to 12, bounce. Beyond Meat with a breakout but earnings. So again, don't risk earnings on this kind of names. 27th, this can dump 20% on earnings without any issues, even if it moved higher. But at the same time, it can jump like probably it's gonna jump 40% if earnings are okay. We shall see. Now to some new names. The first one is ANF, which looks like a pump and dump to me. Look at this shit. This thing went 8x in the past since the October low. And I don't understand why at all. Pure vertical. Had a couple of red weeks, but nothing since then. Um, the OI for this one looks strange. It's very unusual for stocks to have this much OI for weekly closes relative to a quarterly close. So this reminds me of SMCY, and that's why I say it's a pump and dump. My expectation is it will keep pumping until OPEX and then do like 30% correction. And targets are here. Target for the pump and dump is 145. So this should keep going up. It's not the time to short it yet. And then it will dump to 100. This is how I think it plays out. Have a bit of patience. It, it's very likely that it will do it. The only thing that can get in the way is earnings on March 6th. We shall see what happens. Again, don't recommend playing it. And it's close enough to the timing that it can it can it can dump. So yeah, wait it out. We shall see how we can play it profitably. Then we have Wingstop, which hit my target for the short. Haven't opened a position. Got a bit of a rejection here. Earnings are behind us. I don't understand the market's infatuation with Wingstop. So it either stops here. If it doesn't stop here, it will pump to 400. Doesn't work very well, but I have to refresh it. We're now at how much? 348. So we are 340. It it should be extremely difficult to get above this level because there's not enough OI and interest, and it basically doesn't have weekly options. So how do you gamma squeeze this? But if it goes higher than this, it will do up to 400. For now, it's a wait. Uh, Considering the expectation that the market will still be bullish and we get a breadth improving, I think there's a good chance that it goes to 400, like 40%, and that's a pretty big chance. Okay, cool. Still want to see it here. I'm not buying long, maybe only for a short term, but again, we could see something like this. It goes higher before it goes lower. Boring. So my expectation for boring is for it to go lower, but considering what happened on Friday, this might change, or this has changed. We filled the gap here. This was 197.26. The low on Friday was 97.15. The weekly looks decentish. I think there's a good chance that it holds here, meaning rejection. Try to go lower, rejected. Try to go lower, rejected. Try to go lower, rejected. Some consolidation, a breakdown. Try to go lower and got rejected. So this looks pretty good for a long right now if it has follow through. And a bit complicated with the levels. This is one. This would be a first target. If it breaks above this one, then we go for the gap fill most likely. Or up to gap start. This is better. This could be a more consolidation move. Like does this a couple more times. If it breaks above this level, this 215, it's going to 230. And if it goes above 230, it's going to 243. But as of now, the bias is bullish. 215, 240, 245, 260. And this would be the levels. AM, open a position, still like what I see. M might have made the bottom on Friday. I think it goes up immediately. So still expect some consolidation here. Like we can draw a trend line. Feel like the kind of stock that breaks out on the first attempt. Something like this is quite plausible. OS and CF looking okay. Earnings, pullback. We'll see how low it goes. Actually should see a breakout. Okay. Another one on the short list is GE. This one is a bit more complicated. First of all, this is the second highest RSI it's ever had. The previous time it reached this high was in 1971 or something, 1970. Here. So in 1971, I did it right. And when we zoom out and look at the long-term chart, we are at a major pivot and have broken through it, but on very shit volume. So what could happen is this becomes a week by end of month. The end of month is not a lot of time, but it doesn't need to drop a lot to go below this level. This is considering how overextended it is. I would expect we get a pullback down to 140, just 10% next week, and transform all of this into a week on the monthly, or even on the weekly no. Let's see how it looked here. See this candle here. This one was at some point a full red bar, and it reversed and closed above. Then we had a couple of closes below, but it was not to be. This was the first sign that we get a bullish reversal. The the buyout was good here. And now this seems extremely overextended. Like the weekly RSI and the monthly RSI, you can see it with the naked eye, they are absurdly high. I don't think that it's ever been this high ever. On the weekly, no. The monthly, it was higher at some point, and it went much higher than that. This is not a bearish period kind of stock, but it just went up too much to not see a short-term pullback for it. And next week is a good opportunity. That's it. This is just a short-term pullback. I think it goes higher longer term. Same as the other ones that can go higher, can go lower, but this is the buy point. Oh, actually, I talked about this one. Is that G. I skipped G. What the fuck did I do? Anyway, name Kid Martin posted on Twitter. Would like to see it go test this trend line again, and that's a good entry. AA, same, posted on Twitter. Would like to see a retest of this to like 25, and then I think it's a good buy. Costco on the short list as well. Potential for a pullback next week. KDP. This one was looking like a head and shoulders to me, but it it broke new lows. Now I think we go lower, still relatively bullish, but at 29 is the buy point. This has kind of invalidated the head and shoulders, or maybe we can say it's a tilted one. Finally, Exas, which is at the major pivot or was at the major pivot, and reaction to earning was negative. Now it kind of looks like it will go much lower. The first target would be this gap fill here, and I think we get a bounce here with a very high probability, but whether or not it's one that leads to a full reversal is unclear. Something like this, capture and go higher. But this is bearish. Okay, that's everything I prepared for now. Yeah, until next week, have a good one. Bye bye.